What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today we have a teen special, and this is with my cousin Salim. I love him to death, and I asked him to be on this video because I wanted him to share his perspective with all of you who are watching. So, without further ado, Salim, would you like to just talk about yourself, let everyone know who you are, what you do, what your passions are?
I'm Salim. I'm 18 years old. I go to Western University. I'm in engineering, and I hope to study at Ivy in 2 years. I love to play soccer. I like to go to the gym. I love to eat. Um, and right now it's snowing outside, but I love the warm weather, and I can't wait for summer to come. Or I try to be involved in a lot of things. I was on student council from grade 8 to grade 12.
Okay.
I played soccer at my school. I played frisbee, volleyball, tried to do as many sports as I can. I participated in intramurals because that's a great way to meet people, make friends, and form good connections. I also did DECA, which is a business competition. It runs regionally, provincially, and throughout, and internationally, which is pretty fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You talked about building connections, right? Now, I have spent lots of time with you and I've seen and witnessed the connections that you've built with your friends and stuff like that. Now, I know that many of the teenagers who are watching sometimes struggle with building those meaningful connections. Like, what advice would you give to people who are looking to create those genuine connections with others at a younger age? In their teenage years, they want to have real friends that they can rely on. Like, how does someone go about that?
I think that everyone has some friends. Some of them might not be the best friends, and you kind of get caught up in these are my friends right now, so I may as well just stick with them, even though you may not like them. And I feel like that's the worst thing you can do because you want to kind of find people that will help you grow and help you become a better person, not people that you already know. So it's okay if you are scared and maybe are afraid to leave your friends, but I feel like that's an important step to kind of finding the people that are right for you. You're not really vibing with the crowd, the things that they do or the things that they say or just the way they treat people or the way that they treat you, and you just suck it up because they're already your friends and you don't want to make new ones. I think that you should take the step away from that and try and find people that are more suited towards your values and that can make you feel more comfortable. Yeah.
How would you suggest someone does that? Because it is a tough move to make,
Yeah,
especially
it
when
is.
you don't want to hurt people's feelings. And then stepping out of your comfort zone to go meet new people is hard. How do you do that?
Well, I got lucky because I was stuck in a group of friends. There were nice people, it just weren't for me. And that happened back in grade 9, so right before the pandemic. And once the pandemic hit, it kind of cut everyone off. So we're kind of forced to start over. And I just got lucky because my closest group of friends they all live close to me, and we all just went to the park almost every day in the beginning of the pandemic. And we would just spend every day together all day, play sports, get food, bike around. And that's how I kind of built my core group of friends. And from there, it kind of went on and met new people. I've never been one for making enemies. I'm always nice to the people. Even if they do something bad, I don't want to make an enemy out of it because that will never benefit you, and having bad feelings towards people will never benefit you in the end. So I prefer to keep everything very civil, very friendly, but just not necessarily take the step to ask to hang out or make time
Drift
for them
away.
outside of what I have to do. Exactly.
Yeah, you drift away. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
more of a drifting. I like that. It's a drift
Exactly. Rather than a
away.
cut.
It's not a cut off.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Let's talk to us about the pandemic then. Talk to us about that period of time and how that was for you of navigating, lockdown, being isolated and all of that.
I can start off with soccer because before the pandemic, I used to play soccer 5, 6 times a week. It was basically my life was school and soccer and just back and forth, right? And then once the pandemic hit, soccer kind of stopped. And then a few months in, we started online training, which I hated because it was I didn't want to play in front of the camera in my basement, but I did as everyone else did, and it was just frustrating, kind of navigating when are we going to go back, and it was just kind of feeling lost. I didn't know what to do with my time. I didn't know what to do during the day. School wasn't there. People couldn't see each other, and it was just like, okay, now what? And I was just waiting. I felt like I was waiting for like a month.
So you went through that, but then what would you say like you learned from the pandemic? Was there anything that helped you kind of grow and shape you into who you are today from that experience?
I learned to do my own thing because I like in the height of the pandemic, I felt a lot of FOMO. FOMO's fear of missing out. Like if my friends were doing something, I always wanted to like go there, be there, and I didn't want to miss anything. And I wanted to experience all the things with my friends. And I felt like if I missed a hangout or didn't go, I would just like be left behind, right? And then as I kind of grew, I realized that that doesn't matter at all because the genuine connections you make are bigger than just a hangout. And like you do what you want to do, and then you will find that things will just align naturally. Honestly, the engineering side came naturally. I was always more involved in STEM. I never liked biology, so then engineering was really the only way to go.
Mhm.
And in terms of just how I felt during that time of making decisions, it was pretty stressful because there wasn't a lot of guidance given. Like you would get advice, obviously, from your
Yeah.
parents, from older people that you knew at school, but it was just nothing seemed clear. It was really confusing about what we had to do next, and everything was really one step at a time. So you're given like, oh, fill out this application, and then you don't know anything past that. You're like, but what will this do? How do I submit my application? How do I see my application status? What do I do when I get in? When will I get in? All these questions are you have, but no one really answers them in like a structured way. You get little bits and pieces throughout, but it's hard to put them all together when they're so random. So I just went off the advice that I was given from my family members and older friends.
Mhm.
I think that is honestly the best thing. Ask for advice because you can do as much research as you want on your own, but those are just facts. You don't really get the vibes of the places, right? And people know you and they have experience at the different schools, so they can tell you, "Oh, I see you at this school," or "I see you at this school," because they probably know a lot more than you. They know what more than what a website can say.
Yeah.
Did you tour schools?
I toured Waterloo and I visited Western when my sister was at Western,
Mm-hmm.
and those were really the only two schools that I wanted to go to. One would probably be about just doing your own thing, like be independent, because when you live your life based off of what other people want you to do or what other people think, it's not you're not going to be happy. And I think that it's really important that you spend the time, find out what you want, and find out your priorities so that you can live your life according to your own kind of like values and whatever you want.
Mhm.
So that's my first piece of advice. My second one would probably be about don't worry too much about the future because everything will play out as long as you like try your best and do everything right, like be a good person, have morals, have values, treat others with respect, then everything will work out for you. So like don't worry too much about it. The third one is have fun, honestly. Like so much of your life, like you just worry about school and stuff. And I think that I found a good balance of just having fun in school, which is something that helped me grow, helped me make a lot of connections. So don't be afraid to just have fun.
So for the third one, I have something really interesting to share about like the difference between Salim and I. I, from a very young age, for example, like I had a very clear idea of like what I wanted to do, and that's all I did. I focused on that one thing, and that was like soccer, 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 soccer. And it meant that I would say no to everything else. Any other sort of opportunity, friends would say, let's hang out or whatever, I'd say no. Salim was so much more open-minded than me. And he would say yes to all these different opportunities that were out there. And I have seen it firsthand of how he is just so versatile as a person. Like he's good at so many things. It is like insane. Um, he has built like all of these different connections and stuff. Like it's just so cool to see the versatility within him. And I think that comes from just being open-minded, being curious, trying new things. He wasn't so caught up in like, oh, I need to do this. This is gonna help me do this, blah, blah, blah. It was just, he was like more in the moment. And he was just like, look, this is life. I'm just gonna experience new things and stuff. And I love that about him because of like, I see him and the way he is. And I'm like, yeah, he's chilling. He's doing good, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree, because if you don't, when you're young and life is, it seems like it's big and hard and all that, but when you become an adult, it gets way bigger and harder and you've got more responsibilities. So when you're young, take advantage of, like you said, fun, take advantage of all the opportunities you have, and don't focus on one thing unless it's your dream, like Rehan.
We're really happy that we had you on. We appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you.
To everyone watching, that we hope that you enjoyed and you got value from what he had to say and what we talked about today, because he's literally going through it. He's still a teenager, little kid, this little boy right here. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you all enjoyed. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff, ask us questions. If you want to reach out to Salim as well and ask him more about experience, then you can. We'll leave all of his contact information below. And yeah, that's it.